Hey, welcome back to another Coffee and a Chat. I have my Coffee and a Chat coffee mug courtesy of my friend Gail. And that means I actually did some dishes. Yeah, I've been a little pathetic the last few days, but I'm going to do this. Let me see. So if I set it there, how's that? Can you see it? Yeah, that works. That works. There's that gorgeous coffee mug that Gail gave me. Still got coffee in it. I hope I'll forget where I put it. I'll be wandering around the house going, where's my coffee? It's okay. Yeah, Gail's like more than 10 years younger than me. She's like 12 years younger or something. And she's the one that's getting forgetful lately. So, yeah, evidently old age is catchy. Okay, so if you saw yesterday's video, then you know that I've been going through some stuff, that I've suffered another loss, my uncle, and I'm not gonna, I've had enough emotion going on. I'm gonna just take a little vacay from it. I'm not trying to avoid it or anything, but there's no reason to stir it up when it's not there anyway, right? So I'm doing well. My aunt is doing, she and my cousins are doing as well as you can be doing when you're going through something like this. And, something I probably didn't say in yesterday's video that I do want to say here. And even though I wasn't really prepared for the loss, and I don't know that you ever are, but there is a good side to it, and that is that Uncle Harold, loves the Lord. No doubt about that. No question as to where he is. And, to have that kind of a peace and not worry, that's a good thing. So there's no sadness connected with him. All the sadness is just trying to deal with the loss for us. So, and he was an important part of a lot of people's lives on his side of the family. See, on his wife's side of the family, it's just her and my dad. They were the only children in their family. But he was the baby of a bunch of kids. And their kids all had kids. And yeah, he's got lots of nieces and nephews on that side of the family. He just has living on that. He's only on my aunt's side. He just had my two brothers and I, and only my one brother and I are still living. So that's a small drop in his bucket. But when you get on his side of the family, there's a lot, and we're all going to miss him, definitely. So we're all doing okay. And in fact, I just, I was like, because it's hard to figure out, what stories to tell or what I'm going to do. I've got some videos that I want to make that are about some things, one by request, which I had already been thinking about doing. And then my little brother in the Lord and I were having a chat the other day, and we were Zooming so I could see the whites of his eyes, because somehow he thought that was important for me to see that. He's silly. Anyway, we had a wonderful talk and discussion about some things, and one of the things I love about Keith, I love it about my husband, Marvin, and my friends. I have different friends that are the same way, that we can be sitting and talking about things about the Lord, and asking each other questions, and really pondering some things, and meditating on it, and digging a little deeper, and so he and I were doing some of that the other day, and he was like, yeah, I'll do a video about this. And I was like, I've been thinking about it. So, but I just, obviously I'm not supposed to do it right now, because it's not the right time yet. Maybe tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. But for now, I was like, Lord, I don't know. I mean, so here's how it's going. I'm not depressed. Okay, so if anybody's worried about that, I'm not depressed, but I am sad. And I am a little distracted. So time kind of ticks on, and I lose track of it. And I don't really feel very motivated to do much of anything, or if I do, it's so that I have something to do. I just, you ever get to that place where you just kind of feel a little lost for the moment? yeah, I think I've been feeling a little lost the last few days. And so, anyway, this morning I got up, probably about 7:30 this morning, which is a little on the late side for me. I like to be able to get up around 5:30. 5:30 when the sun hasn't come up yet and it's still dark, and I like to come in here and get in my cozy little corner and just press in with the Lord, and make me a cup of coffee. And we've got a propane stove, so that's another thing that to me is just cool. You turn that unit on and that blue flame comes up and starts percolating your coffee, although now it's moving to the wood stove because our weather it's hot one day, then it's cold, then it's hot, then it's cold, and now we're, I think, in a cold spell for a while, maybe for good. So the wood stove's been going all day, and so now I'm transitioning into the coffee pot on the wood stove, which is the best coffee. Oh, but other times, when I do turn the stove on, there's just something about that blue flame coming up in the dark, and not total dark, but I have a little light on in there, but it's not, I don't have all the bright lights on or anything. And I kind of ease into my morning and make my cup of coffee and come in here, and yeah, it's just so cozy and nice. And then by the time I come out of here, Marvin's usually done getting ready for, because he gets up early. If he's not up at 7:30, something's not right, because he gets up more like probably around 6 or so. But he'll get up and he'll do whatever he does in that bathroom forever. I swear it takes him forever. I don't think I ever took that long, even as a teenager, to get ready. I give him a hard time about it all the time. He doesn't anymore, but he used to have a TV set up in there. And so I was like, you've taken our bathroom and turned it into your man cave. And he's like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, is there a recliner in there now? I keep telling him, I know one of these days I'm going to find a recliner in the bathroom. And our bathroom is actually big enough that if he moved a few things around, he could put a recliner in there. So it might happen. I don't know. I mean, it'd be a little crowded, but he could do it. Anyway, my husband keeps me, he gets me laughing. He does. But when I come out from my little prayer corner and I go out into the main house, I go into the TV room off of this room, and which is actually my office and everything else. And so when I walk out there, well, then I can see the war room, and that door will be shut because he's in there having his quiet time with the Lord and a hot cup of tea. And so I like when our days start like that, and we both have met with Jesus, because that's the most important one we meet with all day. And then we come out and we can, we start, get another cup of coffee, get another cup of tea, sit down in front of the wood stove this time of year. Yeah. And then sit there and start talking about what we're going to do today and kind of plan out the day. Those are great mornings. Well, this wasn't one of those mornings. I didn't get up till like 7:30. But I just couldn't really get myself going. And we're sitting in there. Marvin had built a fire and everything. And I'd made some coffee. And I hadn't even been in here to have my time with the Lord yet. I just was I don't even know what I was doing, except all of a sudden I could see it was 10:30 in the morning and I'm still sitting there in my PJs. So I'm like going, yeah, I told Marvin, I go, I'm probably not doing that great right now. And I just need to get my stuff, myself together. And he's like, well, I've got stuff I got to go do. And, and so he had headed out to go work on some project he had out front. Now I knew he was going to go to to get some, it's because it's deer hunting season and we're hunters, forgive us. I haven't been hunting the last few years. I had to quit when I had full charge of Dad, and I haven't quite got back there yet. I've got a few struggles, but I'm thinking, I told Marvin I'm shooting for next year. I don't know. I may still go get a license this year. We'll see. But anyway, deer season opens today, and we're running a little behind, and so he needed to go get some deer corn for his feeders, and and do some stuff and check his, because he's got a few. We only hunt on our land or other private land that friends and family let us hunt. And so, he was, he needs to go check his deer blinds and his deer stands, and, and put some corn out, and, and whatever. And so, so I knew he was going to be leaving, and he'd already, the farmer had already called to say, yeah, come get it whenever. And so, that he goes and gets the corn from. And so I'm sitting there and I'm just like, and I know what I was doing. I have a friend in Kentucky. I have another friend in Tennessee. I've got friends all over the place. We used to all live out west together, but now we've all kind of spread out in different places. And so I think it's kind of funny how we're sort of in close proximity, not totally, but anyway, so my friend in Kentucky, she was sending me pictures of these little miniature cows with the long hair. Oh, they're so cute, and how she wants them, but she's got to justify getting them. And so we were just kind of talking back and forth and teasing and stuff. And I think that, I was kind of lost in that. And so I'm talking to her and I'm thinking, I've got to get up and I got to go get dressed and I got to get a move on around here. And so I was like, Lord, you're going to have to really help me. And all of a sudden, I hear this kind of explosive gush of water, like a fountain of the deeps has just opened up, and it's right behind me. Well, right behind me where I was sitting is one of our bathrooms. And so I was up out of that chair fast and in that bathroom, and it was already an inch of water on the floor, flooding that bathroom, coming towards the hall. And and at first I couldn't tell because it almost sounded like a shower, and I looked at the shower, but the shower wasn't, it wasn't coming from there. And then I saw it's coming from behind the toilet. And I'm like, oh, I already know what this is. Been through it before. And so I just ran for the breaker box and hit the breaker off for the pump in the well house so that the water would stop running. And it still ran for, because there's pressure built up. And so even though I had the pump turned off, it's still pumping, there's still water coming into the room. It's slowing down a little more. And I'm grabbing towels and throwing them down. I had my phone right there because I'd been texting with my friend. And so I just hit, Marvin's number and I'm like, where are you? And he goes, well, I'm in the front, in the front of the house in the yard. Why? And I said, because I need you in, the guest bathroom now. And so he's like, okay. And so he came right in and then got down there and figured out that it was exactly what I thought it was, that the water line that goes to the toilet, the little connector thing on it, like the glue or whatever, had, I guess just because it's old, it had just blown apart. So it just blew it, it's kind of a, Marvin's still kind of, I'm not sure why that happened because I don't think that should have happened. And, but he's off, now, he got the water turned off to the toilet. I knew I couldn't. I have some strength issues in my hands. And so there's a lot of things that I can't do any more than I could. That's why I hit the breaker box, because I knew that I could do, and it would be instant and, or well, almost instant. But anyhow, he's got to go find the part now and replace that, but it's no big deal. And I was like, well, I've got just about every towel in the house down on the floor, cleaning the bathroom floor and throwing them into the tub because it's going to be more than one load of laundry to wash them. So I, got them all in there, got one load started. And then I was like, I might as well get dressed now because I am up and moving now. And so I went and got dressed. And so Marvin had come back and so he's, I said, I've got to make a video today. And I go, yesterday there was only one video I could make, and that was Uncle Harold, because there was nothing else in my head. And, and I go, now I'm like, I don't even know what to do for a video. And then Gail had said, that I should do something, something fun about Marvin and I, and then I'm like going, well, I don't know about anything fun, but Marvin and I today, we're suddenly doing plumbing, which we hadn't expected, and and so I go, I don't know, maybe I should tell him what happened to the toilet, but what's the lesson in that? So Marvin, he stops everything he's doing and he sits down and he says, Angie, I'll tell you what the lesson is. When them girls are out there trying to find a husband, they need to find one that knows how to fix things. That's the lesson. So I was like, although, he is right. I will say, my first husband, I fixed things, because if I didn't, it wouldn't happen. He did not grow up with a father that taught him how to do anything. He didn't even know how to check the oil in his car. And back when we got married in the dark ages, was when you used to have to check the water in your radiator and make sure that that was topped off all the time. And I knew how to do all that stuff. I knew how to check the pressure in my tires. I knew how to change a tire because my dad made sure I knew those things before I got my driver's license. So I actually had to teach my first husband how to do those things because he didn't know. When we went on our honeymoon, we were in this little cabin, and the only heat was a fireplace, and couldn't build a fire, so I could. That was kind of exhausting, that whole marriage, because every time something went wrong, I fixed it. There were very few things. I remember he would buy tools. He was hilarious on that. He'd always buy these tools because he thought it made him look manly, but he didn't have a clue. He didn't know the difference between a Phillips or a flathead screwdriver, yeah. I impressed my brother-in-law now. I impressed him one day because I knew what rebar was. Yeah. Well, when you're married to a guy that doesn't know how to do anything except, entertain people, he could do that. But he didn't know how to fix things, or I don't think he had ever mowed a lawn until after we were married. And we were probably married close to 20 years before he mowed a lawn. So, he just didn't grow up doing those guy things. And I did, because I was the best son my dad ever had. I was, whatever my dad was into, I was right there with him. So anyway, so Marvin, he can do a little bit of everything. And thank goodness, because like this, we would have been able to get the water off and clean up the mess, but then we'd have to be trying to find a plumber and waiting on them. And, and he'll have the whole thing done before we go to bed tonight while he's doing all these other things too. So so he might be right, girls. When looking for a husband, make sure he knows how to fix things. So I've got a lot of other friends that I won't name names because I don't want to make Keith feel bad. Okay, good. I'm laughing. This is a good day. Yeah. My little brother Keith, his wife Shannon, she knows how to fix things because he wasn't always there to fix them, and I don't know if he knows how. I don't know. I'll hear from him on this. He'll tell me. But anyway, I know I'm not the only woman that ended up having to be the fix-it person. So I don't know. I think I'm getting spoiled with Marvin. So better never lose him because I probably can't fix anything anymore. Even though I don't know that I always could, but I would convince myself I could, and I'd figure something out. My dad grew up on a farm, and he you can't take the farmer out of him. So I grew up with a kind of a farmer dad, even if we weren't farming. And so I know how to use duct tape and baling wire. Yes, I do. You can fix about anything. But anyway, and my mom was great at fixing things too. So both my parents taught me a lot. But anyway, so that's Marvin's lesson out of this. But for me, as I've, kind of pondered it, because it's like, if you've been watching my last few videos, there's been a lot of things that just keep happening. And the Lord, has told us, he brought that scripture through Marvin, consider it all joy when you encounter various trials and tribulations, because it works patience or endurance in you. And when patience has completed its work, then you're lacking nothing and able to do what you need to do, or something. That's kind of my paraphrase of it. And so when this happened, I'm walking through the house trying to find more towels, going, I count it all joy, Lord. And we're supposed to be thankful in all things. So I thank you for this. If nothing else, it got me up and got me moving today, and, and whatever else is going to come out of this. And so, I really did feel at peace, not panicked, not upset, not like I don't need one more thing. Marvin was just really cool about it and just did what he had to do, and like, oh, okay, here's the problem, and so I'm going to need to go get this part, and and yeah, it's okay. You ever feel like God's trying to get you ready for something? I've been feeling that way for a long time, and here lately, I told Marvin, I go, don't you feel like he's trying to get us ready to just handle whatever gets thrown at us without it ruffling our feathers or throwing us off? Because when these things happen, and they've been happening a lot lately, it changes the course of the day. You already had plans. You already were going to go do this or that. And now all of a sudden, all this and that has to go on hold because a new problem has put itself at the top of the list. So I don't know, but it does kind of feel that way. I did check out for the financial situation that we were dealing with that ended up where I got roped in. I got committed to something I hadn't committed myself to, and it was going to cost me quite a bit of money each month. And then trying to get that undone was like a real problem until I went into one of their local places here. And I'm not telling you the details of it and there's a reason for why I'm not telling you what exactly happened, but it doesn't matter anyway. But I can't really say what it was, but the thing was, it was going to cost me a lot of money every month, money I can't afford to pay. And then they said, well, I'd had to fill this form, send it to this PO box, and then eventually they'd get it worked out. They'd still take money out for several months, and eventually, hopefully, they would refund it. But that's just how it is. And that didn't seem right to me, but, it's like I kept calm and stuff. So anyway, the PO box that I was given was the wrong one. And so I went to one of their local places here where they said, don't go in there because, it'll take forever. You've got to send this directly to the main headquarters. Well, when I went to the local place, we weren't even there 10 minutes. She clicked her computer like 3 times and said it's fixed. Well, I was able to go online, look at my account, and you know what? It's fixed. There's no money marked to be taken out of my account. It has a 0 balance. Everything is exactly what it's supposed to be. And when I saw that, I'm like, Lord, could this really be true? That you really took care of this that easily? But yes, but the thing is, even if it wasn't, I'm still going to thank him. I'm still going to praise him, right? Having that right attitude. It's not fake it till you make it. I'm telling you, it's like really becoming a part of me. The more it's tested and the more I make the choice to do the right thing, the easier it is coming. So yeah, I do feel like God's trying to teach me something here and that he's strengthening me. And, and that's my point today that I'm going to make is that when you go through different things in life, there's usually a reason. And God's going to do something out of it. So rather than trying to, get upset or avoid dealing with it, or because that's me, just embrace it. Let it do the work it's come to do, because God does not waste anything. Do you hear me? I say that a lot. He doesn't. Everything has a purpose. And his purpose in my life, in your life, is to make us better in him. So I praise God and I thank him for, even if it took a broken water hose to get me up out of the chair today and get my clothes on. Hey, it worked. And I've actually got some, don't want to forget my coffee. Got some dishes done. So I've got my coffee mug. And even though life is a little challenged right now and a little hard and a little sad, life is good. It really is. All right. I love you guys. I don't know what's coming tomorrow, but I'll see you here, right here, tomorrow. All right. You guys have a great day.